And we are live. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Come on in. We're so excited to hang out with you today. We got a special guest with us today. Come on in. We are vibing out. Yes, you are in the right place. We are listening to I'm Every Woman by the beautiful, the lovely, the wonderful, Lord rest her amazing soul, Whitney Houston. Come on in, everybody. Drop those hearts in the chat. If no one has joined yet, please make sure that you go. Let your friends, let your family know. Share. Let them know that you are in the right place at the right time. We have an amazing guest for you today. You do not want to miss this. Come on in, everybody. All my every women, my every men, every people, all of y'all. I'm gonna be nice to y'all. And I'm not even gonna sing tonight. And they let me out here by myself, y'all. So you know it's about to be on. So excited, y'all. Come on in. Drop those hearts. Let us know you're there. Even if you're watching this as a playback, please make sure you drop those hearts. Whoop, whoop. Yes. Oh, man. It is just so amazing when you can kind of get into a great vibe, when you can get into a great space, especially as we are starting to close out the day. Now, we are live streaming, Facebook, YouTube, and we know that we have followers and people who have been rocking out with us over here at CocoLife.Black across the nation and globally. So, it's exciting. So hello to all of the people where it might be nighttime, it might be day, might be tomorrow, all of that. We're just happy to be here with you all today. So today's Coco Connect is called Moving Maternal Health Forward. I like to try to be creative in the titles and the language that I use. So it's going to mean a whole lot to you. But that is the title of our episode for today. So today we have with us an amazing Coco queen, a Coco mom ambassador, just a woman who has gone out of her way to create a space where we are seen, and in a season when as women, we will run ourselves till we can't run anymore. There's no way to do that and not replenish yourself. There's no way to do that and not keep yourself fueled, and fit for the master's use, as we say, and fit for use. So I want to introduce to you all the beautiful, the wonderful. Now I'll wait till she come on so y'all can see, and then I'm a blaster. But the beautiful Lydia Simmons. No, I'm gonna say it before. So wait till you see. Now she said this was like one of her, slower days, if you will. She's not even just. Wait till you see her. She is all kinds of beautiful. So please welcome to our virtual stage, founder of Every M.O.O, which stands for, well, you know what? Before I say that, I'll let her come on and then I'll give you all the backstory and everything. But please welcome Lydia Simmons. Hey, Lydia.
Hi. I am over here cracking up. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Good. Super great. Now, so excited. So excited. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. I'm so happy to be here. And thanks for
Oh
getting
my
the party
gosh.
started.
This is like, this is really like a dream come true because of the fact I saw so much of myself in the product and the space that you were creating. That I'm like, man, how had I gone long before that without knowing about it? I'm into my second kid now. I feel like I've been cheated out of life, but I was like, no more. I bet you that. Bet you we're
Yeah.
not gonna worry about that anymore. So how are things going in your space today? How are things going today?
Everything's going well. It's so amazing to hear you say that. I hear that from so many moms because you don't know what you don't know, right? But it's really good to hear that we're making an effective change even in the lives of moms who are not having that next baby yet, so that you have an expectation going into postpartum. So that's
I,
exciting. Thank you so much.
oh man, no, thank you, everyone. So drop those hearts in the chat, you all. Say hello. We are so excited about this conversation. And you may have some questions. Again, whether you're joining us live or you are watching the playback, we are just super excited about the conversation that we're having. And so I wanted you to take a minute and just share the moo. Am I saying it right? Is it every moo?
It's Moo. So our
Okay.
handle is Every Moo, but the company is named Moo, which is an acronym for Mom's Official Objective, which for us is just this evolution of where we're always trying to be. We're always trying to get back to us. That's always our objective. You know, we have a list of things that we do all day, but after the kids go down every night, what are we trying to do but reclaim our time? You know,
Yep.
we're trying to figure something out, squeeze something in, get a little bit more done before it's time to do it all over again. And so, such is the same for what we've come to find in every stage of motherhood. And that there was no better name, more befitting for what we were doing here. This revolution, so to speak.
Yes.
But Moo. So we
Yeah.
are simply Moo.
And I tell you, like, mom's official objective in a time again where we really do want to emphasize self-care, but oftentimes it's heard as like it's used as like a buzzword, and so we don't really give ourselves the sort of attention that we should. It is so comforting to find a space that promotes self-love,
Mhm.
prioritizing yourself, but tells you how to do it, right? Because I think that's oftentimes what happens, like, oh, you got to have self-care, you got to do this, and then you get people like, what does that mean? What does
Yeah.
that look like? How do I get that started?
Mhm.
And so even as I perused this wonderful site, and I'm going to drop the link so that everybody can go and visit and shop, of course, because that's the other thing we are about. We love the support, and it's
Thank
nice to share and things like that, and we want to be sure that we can continue patronizing. But it
you.
was just so awesome to come to this site and navigate it, and it almost feel like I'm on like a cross between like a Neiman Marcus type site and like a Peloton, and like
Yeah.
it was very much so giving me like high end,
Thank you.
um very quality products. It didn't seem like there was any, you didn't pull back at all in the visual display that was supposed to come across an internal experience. Did I get that a little bit right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means so much because we really work hard to be transparent, which is something that we want you to feel on the website. We didn't want to hold anything back. And I think that's a good way to put it. We wanted you to not have to exit our site to go and look something up, right? So,
Mm,
in every ingredient that we've put in, we've tried to be as transparent as we can and give you everything that we can see on our side of the screen, where that product comes from, what that
mhm,
product is used for, which products it's in. But
mhm,
more than that, we wanted to show you what those possible contraindications may be, what the
mm,
warnings are, what the known warnings are for an ingredient. We think that's so important. We know that in today's maternal market, people are going into pregnancy with comorbidities and suffering morbidities during postpartum. But not only that, it's just what's right. And it's something that as a mom, I couldn't find on my end. I was trying to kind of feel around for why certain ingredients were in products. And I said, this is something I'd like to change. We also have included with every single ingredient that we have some really healthy reading material that are published medical documents and research documents there that talk about that specific ingredient and what they found and what it's good for. So we are hoping that when people visit our site, that they feel the love, that they feel that someone on the other end cares about me understanding what this is, how it may benefit me, but also if I have a certain thing going on, a certain element, how it may harm me. So
mhm.
that's what we want to do.
I mean, everything you just said boils down to what I kept hearing through everything that you said is a trusted platform, a trusted space, and a trusted product. And so again, I keep going back to what we see so often in our communities, and especially for moms. We do suffer a lot, and sometimes we suffer in silence. And especially when you think about communities with women of color, Black women, brown women, especially, that was one of the reasons, the backstories, the initiatives, or the um, the reasons behind us launching Coco Life Black was same thing. Like, we knew there were some amazing resources out there. It's just, it seemed difficult to connect with them. So
Mhm.
when I think about Moo and being able to bring that to the forefront in a communal way, it makes me think about overall community health,
Yeah.
public health, and the space. And so what I loved about it too, so I am a certified doula. And so I was
Hey.
super excited to see how the approved by registered doctors, midwives, doulas, nurses, dietitians, nutritionists, and best of all, moms, right?
Moms.
So
That's
it
right.
reminds me of Kicks, like kid tested, mother approved, right? Like
That's
everybody
right. Yeah.
is subscribing. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, yes, I want to do this. And so before I get into kind of what was maybe a little behind it, oh, we got a little comment in the chat. So let me lift that up. Oh, hey there, Coco Dad. The site is so intentionally designed to support moms. Such a great resource.
Hey, Coco Dad, thanks.
Yes, shout out to our Coco dads there. Again, the thing that gravitated me to it the most, honestly, was you. Though you were like the first intro that I had. That was the first experience that I had, and it was something about advancing equity, I think, was the language that I read. And so again, that is no longer just this thing that you can maybe want to do. It's not just a buzzword. You have to show and prove. And
Mhm.
that's what you've been able to do. So before we get into maybe a little bit more about like your intentional thoughts behind like creating this type of product
Mhm.
and this space, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we like to ask everyone who joins, whether mom, dad, mom, ambassador, whatever your position may be, is what is your Coco Mom superpower? So
Ooh.
my
Mm.
Coco Mom superpower, I always post up there that I am your Coco Mom evolved. So you'll see that kind of in my tagline. And so that, for me, you said it when you talk about evolution. One of my hashtags is evolution in progress. So I love to be in the midst of helping people to rediscover themselves, to vamp a journey, to be able just to move forward and progress forward in their purpose. And
Mm.
so evolution and seeing that growth and transformation is major for me. So that being said, and just having given you a little time to kind of think about it, what
Not
would you— I
enough.
know, I know. I tried to give you a little more time. Sorry, y'all. What would you say is your Coco Mom superpower?
I would say off of the cuff and
Mhm.
just where I am today. Um, my Coco Mom superpower is being honest about where I lack and
Ooh, you said where you lack?
where I lack, being honest
Ooh,
about where I lack. And having a conversation around it and it allowing it to be therapeutic for me, but also allowing it to open up a very safe space for others to either share or either to feel empowered by that and do the same. Um, I think that that's a spiritual place of growth for me, but
mm,
it's also a free place of therapy. It's free
mm,
therapy. It's therapy that requires a lot of self, you know, reflection, but it also um, is something that allows you to revisit painful things
mhm,
without getting stuck there, you know? So if I were to tell you today, something that I lack in, I
mhm.
hope that I'm giving you permission not to share with me because I'm not sharing to receive, right?
Right.
But I'm sharing to let you know that, hey, I just shared and I'm okay. I'm fine. And
Ooh,
I don't I don't further lack because I shared what I lack.
wow. If anything, you have just gained exponentially because you've released too. I think that is such a amazing point to make in July. July is also Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And every month we know we want to lift up mental
Mhm.
health awareness. And one of the things I just actually finished reading, well, I guess I got like one more chapter to go, but I just finished reading this book by Resma Menakem, My Grandmother's Hands. And it's an amazing book. And what it highlights is how we, you know what? Let me, since we did,
Yes.
listen, so you know I'm not lying. And funny enough, my husband was reading it on the audio book, and so then I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are tuning in, and you just come on, you better come on
Mhm.
and get with it.
Yeah.
But learning about understanding racialized trauma and how we carry it in our bodies,
Mhm.
and so then what do we do about that? And so what you just said about learning how to be vulnerable, I see that pop up in the comment again from our Coco dad. Being vulnerable, making room, us normalizing, creating space to share what we lack.
Yeah.
Um, I got super excited the other day because a good friend of mine had been going through some things with their business, and then I saw a post from a woman, and this is going to sound crazy. I saw a post from a woman who was just, she was like, you know what, I struggle. I wasn't going to talk and be this transparent, but I'm feeling led to.
Mhm.
And she's on her journey as well of like healing completely, and part of that meaning being transparent and not just showing this facade. And she talked about how
Mhm.
she was closing her brick and mortar business.
Mhm.
The recession just, I mean, the COVID-19 just really hit, and she just wasn't able to recover. And I was grateful for it because it allowed me to be able to share it with someone who had been struggling about that decision. And so I
Yeah.
needed for them to know you are not alone. I
Mhm.
know that when we turn on the computer and such in our phones, that the rest of the world looks great, but guess what? Miss Lydia just shared, Alexia just shared, all these other people have just shared that it's tough for us to be vulnerable too, but we found it as a space of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
true. So
I
true.
appreciate that. um
Absolutely.
so with that then, and I just want you to actually talk a little about, it was your personal experience that went through it, but what made you choose like these types of products? Like this is
Yeah.
some intentional stuff. Like you wouldn't want to see what I came up with. It'd be some little Pez in a Ziploc bag. They might try to, I mean, like this is some amazing stuff.
80s
Oh
baby.
yes,
Are you an 80s baby?
I am.
Me too. I heard you say peds. I mean, and we're dating ourselves. You know what I mean?
You did. You did. All I'm gonna say is this year is definitely Lexi Palooza Road to 40s. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So everybody
It's
else need to
so
do the
true.
math. But
It's so
thank you so much, Coco Mom Bonita. Right. Being in a safe place you can free yourself without judgment is a beautiful thing.
true.
It really
Amen.
is.
Amen.
So yes, Lydia, I mean, like how?
Well, I had my first child at 33, which I think was a beautiful age for me and my journey. I've had friends that have had babies much earlier, much younger, and I've had the opposite, friends who are older having children. And I noticed something consistent with them is that they had community around having those babies. Well, I did not. I did not. It was my mom, it was my grandmother's journey through my childhood of showing me kind of this tangible place of being a mom, right? But nobody talked about what happens those weeks and months after having a baby. And nobody was there with me while I was experiencing that. So I didn't have anyone cooking me any stews or soups or telling me, baby, you need to eat. Here, drink this. Did you remember to do that? Let me hold your baby while you go and take a nap or go and take a bath, you know? And so what I figured out early on was those things kind of created this nutritional deficiency for me. And I didn't know that I was nutritional deficient, but I knew that I was having some issues. I wasn't producing enough breast milk. I had these really dark circles around my eyes. Like you've seen the dog, the mascot for Target with the ring around his eye. I looked
Yep.
like that in both eyes. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I just knew that when I looked in the mirror, that I did not look like me. And I would say to my friends, like, I feel so ugly and I don't know why. And they would say, You look beautiful. What is it? Nobody was telling
Mhm.
me, yeah, you do. Your eyes are a little dark, which they could see, but we're fed this moms need to hear this, this
Yep.
thing. We need a soft landing space. I needed honesty. I needed for somebody to also agree with me that something looked off and maybe I should seek more care. Well,
Yeah.
I figured out that something was off. I went into the doctor's office and I said, something's off. Tell me why this is happening. I'm starting to feel and to witness my mental health decline. What's the issue here? I was basically told it was normal. I was kind of almost scolded, like, hey, this is a rite of passage and you should be happy that it's
Right.
not worse. I was just like, there is no way that this is normal. Common, but not normal, especially on the heels of a beautiful pregnancy, especially with the background that has always eaten clean, worked out really
Oh,
heavy, had a very great lifestyle and wellness and balance in my life. What is this thing? Well, it was postpartum. It was postpartum and it was doing everything that it's capable of doing in my life, yours, and the next person's life. And I knew that I needed something to help me right now. So I almost went into grandma mode where grandma
mm,
just cooks up a bunch of stuff and, just take what you can, almost a smorgasbord of things. I
yeah.
knew that food was going to be an answer to some of those things. But even after eating a healthy, very catered diet, I was still lagging in some areas. And I knew at that point that I needed minerals, vitamins, I needed superfoods. And so I went back to the drawing board and I figured out what those things were. Well, those things took about 20 pounds of ingredients that nobody would be able to keep up with on a daily. Nobody would want to afford the lifestyle of committing to such a thing. And your body is just not going to be able to ingest so much food a day and get everything you need. So that sent me right into labs. I said, how can I take this big bag of things and make it digestible, ingestible first, but digestible for the average person walking an everyday life with no time, no one there to tell them to do it? How do we do this? And we came with the idea that it would be better if we could either put it in a capsule form or a powder form. We chose capsule, which led us to our first product, which is a postnatal. Now, postnatals had not been a conversation. What do doctors tell you when you have a baby? They tell you continue taking your prenatal, right? Well, let's just look at that. Prenatal,
Yeah.
PRE is the prefix. What's the prefix for pregnancy? PRE, right? So the prenatal helps balance out Boyd's dietary necessities during gestation. It's for maternal fetal health. But the
Mhm.
woman who's recovering during postpartum, especially the woman who's had a C-section, we need
Mm.
something completely different in our bodies. And so this led me into understanding exactly what I needed to do. And what we needed to do was to get this into the hands of as many women. But we realized there were some educational barriers there, which gave us a huge platform to be able to really teach. And so that's where we are today. You ask, how do we figure out the products and how do we come up with the idea? Well, there is a system that's needed for postpartum. It's like anything else. There can't be a one size fits all approach. There has to be a delicate system of once you pass this stage, you're going to start experiencing this. During this stage, you're going to need this. Once you pass this stage, you may notice a decline here. We want to be able to take that mom from day one of postpartum all the way into menopause and throughout menopause, which a lot of us experience during postpartum. We start the cycle of menopause, some of us, and so that's where we are as a thinking company, as a feeling company, and an emotional company. And the best that we could do was to try and package that so that it is a tangible good as opposed to pouring education without a solution.
Wow. I mean, and I decided to, also as you were talking, wanting to just scroll through the site, so those who are joining us and watching the playback can experience again the cleanness, the inviting space that this is, and like you mentioned, how important it is to not forget about the pre and the post, and wanting to also have fuel for our bodies to navigate that, because we understand that, especially because we do not necessarily live a lifestyle that may give us the complete value, the complete nutrients that we need from the food that we take in, especially if you are a mom postpartum and you're not taking in any of it.
That's
Or
right.
you're a mom and you are a aspiring mom and you're going through your
Mhm.
fertility journey and you're planning and you're considering. These are all different things that you need to make sure that you're intentional about this lifestyle.
That's right.
And so, again, the great thing about this is that you didn't just shove a product out into the market and say, "All right, y'all, go be great. This is wonderful because I said so." Like you said, there's an education component to it. There's a lifestyle
Mhm.
to it, and I can see myself in this. I can see regularly how I can subscribe, how I can also, even as a part of the community. So that's another big thing that we're huge on here at Coco Life, is cultivating community. You
Yeah.
said some things there, and there's actually, I think it was a TikTok maybe as a start, and we did as a reel. Another Coco Mom Ellen, I just did it last weekend, and it started as a woman. I think she was a white woman, and she was like, "So I hear it takes a village to raise a child. Do they just show up? Or is there like a number that I call?" Like, I'm a find it and I'm gonna drop it in here, post.
Please.
But is that
Yes.
not the realest thing? Like, yes, I remember with our first child really feeling that isolation. I will never forget. It was after Thanksgiving, so everybody's kind of venturing and going back to their
Mhm.
respective places, and sitting in the living room with this car seat, looking at this baby like, what is this? Who, what, when, where, why?
Yeah.
And just wishing I had a space. And so I remember being celebrated because I lost so much weight. But the caveat to that is I was not eating.
Mm.
I was not fueling myself. I was not taking care of myself. So it was not in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So what you said and lifted up for us, as it relates to these pieces, is so important. And guess what? See, everybody, you get to go behind the veil even. You get a chance to get some insight, right? Into this. And so these different ingredients, if you could, was sort the research that you did, I guess,
Mhm.
and you don't have to go through all of them, of course, but anything in particular that just helped lead you to these types of ingredients.
Yeah, we do a lot of testing. It's really at the core of everything that happens before you guys ever get the sniff test of anything
Yeah.
that we have going on, because what we want to make sure is that your body is able to uptake what we're giving you. A lot of times what we're seeing in the market right now is that there are tons of products out, and we call them kind of wish supplements, where they really hope they
Okay.
work for you, but no true science behind it, which is necessary. And there's not an understanding of the balance of the ingredients, We're seeing a lot of that. We see a lot of supplements on the market right now where things are just thrown in because they're good. And it's true, they're all good. But if you don't know how they work together, it also can be pretty harmful for you, which we really try
Yeah.
and keep a keen eye on. I can't say that there's a specific product. What we look for is the best forms. We want to make
Mhm.
sure that your body is taking everything that it needs and not just dumping it through your sweat or your urine, which tends to happen with a lot of things that are on the shelf. And we've seen traditionally things that you can walk into Walmart and buy off of the shelf. Usually,
Yeah.
you also see it in a few hours in your urine.
Yeah,
We
that's so
wanted
true.
yeah, we wanted to make sure that doesn't happen. Not only do you see it, but you smell it. You can smell it, right? And so
Yep.
you know that everything that is supposed to be sticking to your body is now, in the toilet bowl, if we're being honest. And so that's something that's very important to us. Another thing that's really important to us is the quantity. We've started to see a lot of things on the shelf that are 12 and 15-day um, items, and we just think it's theft. We think it's
Yeah.
theft for you to put something out that a mom has possibly paid her last to get, and in 15 days she needs to replace it. So everything that we'll ever produce will be at a 30-day quantity every time. And
Oh.
so those ingredients that you were showing there,
Mhm.
I think all of them are so beautiful and unique,
They are.
on their own, but together, the way that we blend them and formulate it is just amazing. We have probably, I would say right now, about 8 to 10 years of innovation ready to go.
Wow.
Like are amazingly we are designing things for the public. You can't roll it out that fast. There's some
Right.
business to it as well, but
Yeah,
uh,
there's some strategy.
absolutely. But we would love to be able to continue to build on this system so that every area of postpartum is considered when we're done.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited about it. So excited about being able to update the platform of Coco Life to include this, and oh, what is this education? Definitely set this site apart. Some of the feedback I'm seeing, GNC are full of wishes and dreams. It really is. And
Oh,
I think that's what
thanks.
makes this um, such a beautiful concept to understand how you got here, how it came to fruition, if you will,
Yeah.
from probably a thought in your head to tangible real, is that people hope and wish and they play on the market because it is such a multi-billion-dollar industry, but you are being intentional. You don't just want people's dollars. You don't want a one and done and then to leave. And I showed you all some of those reviews that were in there, and you can go and see them for yourself. I'm just on the website
Yeah.
because you want the feedback. You
Mhm.
want to make sure that people feel whole. So definitely appreciate that. One of the things I'll ask this question in the chat, and then I know we got to wrap up. But can one of the questions that came up was, let's see, can you name the top 5 products from your site you wish you had during your own pregnancy?
So we have 4 unique products. And if you're on our site, you'll see that what we try and do is bundle them for you, to
Ah,
discount
okay. Let
the
me share again.
individual.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
in.
we
Yep.
have 4 unique ones. And right now, they are the so because we have 4, I can't really answer your question, right? And I want to be
Yeah.
fair to you. I needed all 4. And I will tell you why. If you're looking at the site now, you're looking at our uterine tea, our collagen, our postnatal, and our daily drops. The first product that every woman needs, going into postpartum, and I'm talking about day 1 with your first postpartum meal. I'm talking about you just had a baby and they're asking you what you want to eat. You should be taking 2 postnatals with that meal. Why? Because you've just lost blood, and there's a lot of minerals and nutrients in the blood, and we need to rebuild those things back. Most women leave the hospital with some type of anemic count on their blood charts, right? There is
Mhm.
some level of anemia. I left that way, twice. And so I know that it happens. And in order to rebuild those things in your blood, you have to put them back in. And so the postnatal is important for that, but it also starts your nutritional sufficient journey where you are going into postpartum, plugging those voids and those nutritional gaps that you may have because you lost the blood. So, see, the childbirth in itself, though beautiful, already takes a toll on the body because
Yeah.
of the instant blood loss, right? Now, some
Right.
would argue that the body has double the blood because the body has carried a baby and built more blood. Well, have you ever donated blood? It doesn't matter what's in the blood or how much the volume is. Anything you take out, the body will feel the effects of it. Okay.
That's true.
In that, the hormones start to kind of move around and about. in very weird ways for a lot of people. And so that product you're showing there is the first one that I would say I needed. It was the most important, and it was the one that rescued me from what I think was a slow death during my first child
Wow.
experience. Absolutely. The second
Wow.
product is our collagen. And it's so unique because whether you're breastfeeding or not, lack of iron, lack of protein, especially breastfeeding, will cause hair loss. It
Yeah.
will, I mean, it will happen so fast that you won't even know what happened to you. There is no rescue once it starts moving forward, it's just gone. I experienced this. Our brand is my story, it really is. I experienced this. I lost all of my hair. It started with the edges like it does with everyone else, and before you knew it, the hair was just so damaged that I had to balance it with a really deep pixie cut. So that product is good for that. A lot of the collagens you see on the market are just collagen. We just don't believe in that. We believe that you should be able to get one product and get what you would need without having to buy three products to get those things where it makes scientific sense, right?
Okay. Right.
This product is that. This product is that. The next
Look. And it's
one,
free from gluten, sugars, artificial sweeteners, and GMO.
thank you. Yeah, it
Look
is.
at listen.
It
I'm
is.
with it.
It's really clean. It's good. It comes in some really, really great flavors. That white chocolate mocha, chef's kiss. If you're a coffee drinker, it's a great creamer for your coffee. Just a FYI. But I also drink it in a shooter, and a lot of women that frequent our site and community talk about just drinking it over ice because it's so good. It tastes like a milkshake to them. But the next product is our Daily Drops, which is a CBD product. There's not a lot of education about CBD. There's been a lot of villainization on the
Mhm.
product itself, and there's a big learning curve there. CBD is one of the most natural ways to approach mental health decline head on, but it's also great for menopause. When your body starts having
Mm.
those hormonal changes, your temperatures are flaring. 1 minute you're in cold sweats, the next minute you can't sleep, and now you're
Yeah.
exhausted. That CBD helps to balance you in menopause. But what it does for postpartum is it quiets and calms those rages that you may experience because of anxiety, irritability, stress, or just lack of sleep, which comes with the territory of being a new mom. CBD, let me tell you something. CBD changed my entire postpartum experience with my second
What?
child. I was
What?
I had postpartum depression now for a second
Yeah.
time, but it was major
Yep.
because now I had two babies 15 months apart. You guys do the math. 15 months apart. That means I was 5 months postpartum and pregnant again. And I was never going to take any prescription medicine for it. And I didn't
Yeah.
want to believe that I had it. So I needed to find something natural for me, and CBD really helped to turn that around. I mean, it changed things like my sex drive, which was at zero because postpartum depression plus sleep
Yeah.
regressions are all going to exacerbate different
Yeah.
things that you really just cannot handle. For me, CBD changed that completely. I recommend this as an everyday product. It sits beside my bed. If you guys would have saw before we went live, it's something that I drop every night, and so does my husband. Okay, my husband takes CBD every night. We take it
What?
every night before I go to bed. The last thing I do is drop CBD. And listen,
See?
I have to stress this. Yeah, right under the tongue, sublingually, right under the tongue. You hold it for 30 seconds and you swallow it. Tastes like citrus, right? So it's like a citrus sorbet flavor.
Right.
I have to stress this because it's so important to me that we
Lord
know this,
willing.
because we really deal silently with a lot of mental health decline in our community. CBD
Yeah.
is also something that I drop during the day. I am still with a 3-year old attacked with anxiety sometimes. Okay. When I
Mhm.
feel that anxiety, I don't necessarily have to have a trigger. Why? Because I'm hormonal. So the hormones can
Yeah.
trigger anxiety, right? I go and I drop just a little bit of CBD, and in about 10 minutes, all of that quiets down. It's so important, and we made it small and discreet because we want you to be able to stuff it in your bra if you need to, tuck it in your small wallet if you need to. We want you to be able to have it when you need it. And so it's so important. I can't stress this product enough. It has been a lifesaver for me, especially needing to show up to the table ready to work all the time, you know?
That
Yeah.
is so true. That
Yeah.
is so true. Oh gosh, this is amazing. Like you see, y'all see, I just added it to my cart. I'm not playing. I'm
Let me
like
send you one. Let me
this
send
is
you one.
this is real life. You might have listen. You just did a lot of saving here. Okay, I
I
can't wait to do my review
I want
because
you
I did. I was one of those people that yeah.
I want to be very
Oh
frank and honest because it's not talked about enough. But listen, safe spaces, right? Um, Postpartum mental health decline
yep.
is something that doesn't get spoken about enough. As a Black community, what we're taught is mental health decline can be considered a weakness. We're getting some glare back on the lighting here because all of a sudden the sun came back out for us.
Well,
Let's see
that's
if I can
okay. Listen,
let's see if I
listen.
can make it better for you. Um, I want to talk about it because I want our community to understand and to be prepared for it, okay? And not to suffer in silence. Although our community has taught us mental health decline may be taboo, there's help for you. There's help, and it doesn't have to be um, prescription based. It can be very natural and very plant based. I'm not telling you to buy our product, but I'm telling you to look at plant based solutions for that and to be prepared for it and to know that. Mental health decline doesn't always show up as some mental display. Sometimes it's physical, right? So sometimes mental health decline is just tiredness. Sometimes
Yeah.
mental health decline is not being able to tolerate a lot of noise. That's something a lot of people don't know is anxiety for them. When you have three types of sound coming at you at the same time and you can't tolerate it and now you're imploding, you're having anxiety. And these are signs that we need to think about. Clenching your teeth. Are you waking up in the morning with sore ears? Are your ears sore during the day? Because you're clenching your teeth at night or grinding your teeth. Okay. This is anxiety. This is anxiety that's happening in your sleep. You don't even realize it. Are you having nightmares or a reoccurring dream? All mental health decline, right? So
Yeah.
we need to understand what it looks like in order to understand when to treat it. And on the
Hmm.
house side, we just need to be educated about what's out there to resolve that. It's a big deal, but it's something that doesn't have to be. It doesn't.
Wow. Thank you for each and every piece of that. And it is, and I agree, us just being able to normalize these conversations and addressing
Mhm.
it in a way that is holistic, and not demonizing and villainizing people for wanting to address this in their best way.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
true. So true. Thank you for letting me say that. It's important.
No, we that is what this conversation is about. We want to be able to share it because that's one of the things that we've learned is that we don't get a chance to have these conversations kind of full out and bring some transparency to light, so that someone who's watching, someone who gets it, that share it, like, hey, like I just said about the other one, the video that I shared, like, listen, you're not alone in going through these things.
Yeah.
So that's I know we got one more product that I just wanted to make sure that we highlight.
Oh, our tea. I didn't talk about it. I have it actually here beside me.
Let's see, look at that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
let
it
me
right beside me. I drink it all the time, all day. Can you see that?
wow, that is
Um,
awesome. Let me make it big. Put that up again so I can make you big so they can
let's see.
see.
There it is. This is our uterine tea. It's our fertility and uterine tea. Fertility being your entire reproductive system, not just I'm planning to have a baby, but hey, we need to keep conditioned our uteruses. This tea is unique because it's for the woman who has completed her breastfeeding journey or the or the mom who has skipped breastfeeding altogether and you're just looking to balance those hormones. Um, I have different people that are close to me that are 50 plus and they use it every day because they're pushing into menopause, and some are full-blown menopause, and it helps to balance those things out. It has Don Quai, which is very, very good for toning the uterus. Goji berry, lemon balm, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ingredient. I can't tell you enough. Lemon balm by itself as a tea is a beautiful tea.
Ooh,
Goji berry, saffron is so um,
yes.
underrated, but
Hmm.
we tend to only hear about saffron in food, but saffron in tea is so potent. You only need a little pinch of it in a tea for it to be very potent, high potent, and amazing for your reproductive and fertility needs there. But this is our tea. We made it plastic free. So you're going to see, let me give you a picture of a sachet in here. You're going to
Okay, let
see
me.
a different type of sachet because we didn't want to put any plastic into your body, which is
Mm,
commonly what you see in teas. So you have a PLA bag here, which is plastic free. It looks like cloth
yes.
instead of that really nice plastic that you see. We also did not give you a tag or a string because we don't want any plastic in your body. We wanted
Wow.
plastic free so that we're not further impacting in a negative way your hormones, which is very important. So beware if you're a tea drinker of
Hmm.
what your tea bag is made out of. Plastic plus hot water leaches a lot of chemicals into your tea that you're just drinking, even when you think you're doing a good thing for yourself.
That is, I mean, wow, that's such a major and an awesome point that you brought up, especially when you hear, and this, we are not coming for any products or anything like that. We're educating. We're being educated and reminded. And so there are so many products out there, right, that promote breastfeeding and or increase supply
Mhm.
because of these certain teas. But what is it put it back in? Right? What are
Yeah.
we not thinking about that's coming? And so it's just things that we need to consider because we're putting these in our body and because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, everybody
Mhm.
wants a piece of it, but are they going about it the right way? Like Moo
Yeah.
is.
It's cheaper to do it the wrong way, which is
Yep.
why it's done often. It's
Right.
easy. It's like anything else in mass production. You know, you start thinking about things on a mass retail level, mass production level. Sometimes to stretch the products out that are bulked, it's easier to reduce some of the things in there. But it's not something that we're looking to do ever. It can't be done. We have breastfeeding moms that are a part of our community, and that's utmost important to us. We want to make sure that it's always breastfeeding safe. But more than anything, it's not ethical, and we are an ethical company. We stand
Yeah.
behind that. We stand behind. I'm going to show up to your show. I am going to show up to the Coco community. I can't show up and
Yeah.
tell you these things and not be about it. You know, I think Migo says it best when they say "walk it like I talk it," right?
Hey, okay.
So
You
that's
hit
what
it
it
on
is.
that. I mean,
What it
that
is.
was a drop mic moment. Okay.
It has to
Um,
be.
I no, I appreciate this. And you have done so many amazing things. I saw you featured in Ebony and featured on Black Enterprise, and the list just goes on and on. But what I love about it again is because you do care.
I
And
do.
you all do care. Like the mission is moving forward, and there's a hashtag that I've been using a lot lately too, and it's Moms of the Movement. And I
Yeah.
think this is what we should see in a movement is intentional focus, right? We can't say we care and it doesn't come through in the ways that we're showing the community that we do. Like you
Mm.
just said, if I'm gonna put something out there, I want to do it the right way.
That's right.
So
That's right.
um before as we start to as we close out, any final words or anything you would just like to say to the Coco community, whether those who are live with us or joining the playback, any final words you have?
Yeah, I think that we've covered a lot about what I do as a founder and who Moo is, but I want to talk to the community really, really quick and just leave a couple of love notes with you guys about our business ownership because I know that we're really growing in that area, and I know that a few of you out there may be listening for some of those business nuggets, and I would love to be able to give them to you as often as I know. I'm no gatekeeper, so when I find out things and when I learn things and I perfect things, I always want to be able to push them out, and this is one of them. We historically have been taught about 100% of ownership of what we have. You know, we're all searching for that 100%. We're working towards 100% so much. And we don't realize that in that 100% ownership, what our true responsibilities are. For the brand owners that are out there, it is imperative that every single thing, if you have a consumer based product, if you're selling a learning management system, or you have a master class, or whatever it is that you're learning, you better know everything about it, because that is the way that you protect your 100%. Okay. That is the way. If you're asked about an ingredient in your product, you better know everything about it. You are the champion first for those ingredients, for that product, for that business. Again, if it is a car wash, you better know exactly, you know, what's in those products and why you use them and how they can be effective, because you are the mastermind, you are the spokesperson. This is your educational piece first, and leadership will always trickle down. And so I want to encourage you that in that 100%, a part of maintaining it, if that is your goal, a part of maintaining that 100% is being able to then tell others who may be working for you in any capacity, whether they are manufacturing, whether they are writing an article about you, who you are and what you stand for, because that's how you protect what you have. That's how we're able to say, oh, I know we won't change, because I know what's in it. You know, I know exactly why it's chosen and how it works and what volume is in the formulation. That this is very, very important in going forward and being able to maintain full ownership of your businesses, being able to dispel anything that's coming after you or people may say about your products if that's what you're serving. So I just want to encourage you guys on that journey of ownership comes education, and you better be best and most educated about what it is you're selling on your journey, because people will ask, they will pick it apart, and they will seek to understand from you first. So good luck on your journeys, and thanks for being here with us. Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed myself. We've lost your volume.
Right, there we go. You think I would
Okay.
have learned by now? 3 years into this, you think I would have
That's
learned by
okay.
now.
Okay.
Thank you so much again. This has just been such an amazing experience, and just
Yeah.
you reminding us to be an expert in our business, especially
Yeah.
again in a time where everybody wants to be an influencer, everybody wants to do this, but no one wants to put the time in to understand. And you should be able to share who you are and what you stand for.
Mhm.
Um, that is something that's going to help us to move forward, like you said, in this space. So just so appreciative of everything. For those of you who are tuning in, make sure you go follow Lydia and follow Moo on IG, every.moo, and online, everymoo.com.
Yeah.
It again, you've seen the products, regardless of where you are in your maternal wellness journey. There is space for you in the lifestyle that is Moo. And so you know how we talk about moms. We are looking at moms as different spaces that you may hold. So yes, there's a traditional sense, and you're a mom ambassador,
Yeah.
and you are influencing someone in these different spaces. And so there's a place for you to show up and be your best self. And that is at every mood. So we thank you
Right.
so much again for tuning in.
Thanks for
Always a great time. Again, whether watching it live or the playback. If you want to continue to follow Coco Life, you know, we're out here cultivating community every place we can. Down there in the scroll to bottom, cocolife.black. Cocolife.black is the website, it's the Instagram. YouTube is Coco Life DOT Black. Just stay connected with us. We have some amazing things coming up next month, virtual and in person. At the end of August, we are hosting our first Mommy and Me in Melanin picnic. So we're super excited. And so just again,
it.
stay connected on all the ways that you can show up and be influential, just like Lydia is doing.
Yay.
Need it.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
thank y'all so much again. Y'all have a great night. And we'll go out with a little more Whitney.
Okay.
There we go. Come on, Lydia. Let me see your moves.
I'm holding my ring light with one hand, so I only have. Hey.
That's so perfect. Thank y'all so much. Bye, everybody.